Sup dudes, it's Snail. Now you already know what's going on. It's time for me to tell you what I thought the best mods of the month were for August of 2025. Like always, watch till the end because one mod will be crowned the best of August. And remember, all mod links can be found in the description. If you like this video, like and subscribe and yada 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 whatever. Okay, the first mod on the list is... What? Who's calling me? What?
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go bowling.
Fine. Our very first mod is a wonderful settlement mod that gives us some really fun objects that we can build. Bowling from Itchy Treasure Sack adds 5 bowling lanes. Bowling lane for dummies, look at that, that's funny. 8 balls. Why is this so f***ing big? Buildable and knockable pin sets, and a few different decorations to really sell the bowling alley image. That is neat as hell, guys, look at that. Did you know, just like this bowling setup in DB Technical High, there are a number of unmarked locations related to bowling in Fallout 4. If you didn't, now you do, and the cool thing about having buildable bowling stuff is that now I can play bowling whenever I feel like it, and I don't have to shoot my way through some squatters to do it. God damn it. Anyways, here's how to use the mod. Once you set down your lanes, build your bowling pins, remember to build one of the bowling balls nearby, hold A or E if you're on keyboard to hold the ball, line yourself up, and toss away with the R or the X button if you're on controller. After you knock down some pins, you can easily reset it by picking up the pins or scrapping them and rebuilding the pins in place. It was a lot of fun to get creative with the objects, and of course Preston was nearby, so I got curious and I just had to test something on him really quick. Can I use a bowling ball to murder Preston Garvey? Let's find out. Come here, Preston. No, I cannot. That is sad. Chem Cooker's Redux is our next mod up, and it does something really special. It'll let you play Schedule 1 in Fallout 4 as you put your settlements to work for you in the chem trade. It adds 7 new production benches for different chems and 5 new planters to grow the base ingredients for those chems. Earlier this year, I played a lot of Schedule 1, so the fact that I can now play Schedule 1 from the comfort of the Commonwealth is exciting to say the least, and you know what? It actually plays pretty much the same with this mod. For example, in Schedule 1, the typical gameplay loop goes like this. First, you get or grow the raw materials to make your drugs. Next, you take those materials to a workbench that makes the raw product. Finally, you take that product and package it, then it's ready for distribution or sale. However, once you get a couple employees and some dealers, the process is pretty much as automated as can be, and all you have to do is collect the money and launder it. In Fallout 4 with Chem Cooker's Redux, you are starting an automated chem production facility from day 1. You assign your settlers to a raw material station, then assign some more settlers to the production benches, and every 24 in-game hours, you'll receive an amount of product in the workbench container, which you can then sell to just about anyone in the Commonwealth. I'm just, contributing to the water purification efforts. Mods like this really feel like the final missing piece in the settlement puzzle. In the base game, you go from sustenance farming to growing your settlement population, but the next logical step to industry is never quite made, even with the workshop stuff you can get as DLC. I also realized something critical while I use this mod. I can just have an entire settlement dedicated to growing just 1 or 2 ingredients, and then send those to another settlement with caravans for production. So now, I don't just have a single settlement producing chems, I have an entire network of chem production working around the clock to line my pockets and serve the good junkies of the Commonwealth. But just like any good chem dealer does, remember, you have to follow the 10 jet commandments and keep that motherfucking thing on you, pimp. On which note, here are some things you should be keeping on you. First up is the grenade launcher from Elixirator, which adds the China Lake grenade launcher as seen in Fallout New Vegas. The China Lake is a tube-fed pump-action grenade launcher that mixes the joy of explosions with a small package and the wonderful tactile sensation of jacking it. It's very simple to use. Just whip it out and jack the pump for continuous explosive payloads delivered directly to the forehead. Make sure the homies don't get too close while you're doing it, or they're liable to catch some friendly fire. Though it's a pretty fun weapon in its default state, this thing really shines when you take it to a weapon bench because you can give it nuke rounds that lend you all the power of a fat man with almost none of the drawbacks. Is that balanced? No, not at all. But you know what? Sometimes balance can get f***ed, especially when I'm having this much fun. Also of note, there is a separate version of the grenade launcher which fires whatever this is, called the Holorifle. It's really cool and I ended up using it for quite a bit, but overall I thought the nuke rounds were a lot more impactful to my gameplay. Going from explosions to, well, as far as you can get from explosions, really. The WA-2000 by DegenerateDak is a semi-automatic sniper that's both lore-friendly and easy to use. I cover a DAK weapon every video, so you already know what to expect. A good amount of customization.
Guys, look at those bullets. Dude, that's drippy as fuck.
A well-balanced weapon that fits well in many lists, and a unique variant,
Very, very cool.
are all present in this weapon mod. The unique is cool because it's even branded with Commonwealth Weaponry's logo, and of course, this weapon is properly level list integrated, so enemies can use it too. Having a semi-auto sniper was cool because it meant there was a lot of forgiveness in taking shots. Firstly, this thing can absolutely rip through enemies if you have it maxed out. Secondly, it has a pretty good handling, which also meant that I could quickscope NPCs up close and personally with little consequence. So, going from an ultra-precise pinpoint lethality to something a lot less refined, the Mislauncher is a new mod for the missile launcher. It's presumably named the Mislauncher because it'll miss whatever you're aiming at and crap out a time-delayed rocket at your feet instead. The mod adds a modification at the weapons bench that takes the weapon from being a boring, functional explosion tube to a fun and mildly terrifying slingshot with extra steps. Now, you might ask yourself, why would you want this? I mean, it's pretty much antithetical to what a missile launcher is supposed to be. Well, while you'd be right to question it, there are several reasons to use it. First off, it's fun. If you give the launcher a quad barrel and use a power armor with a jetpack, you effectively become a bomber plane with legs, giving you the ability to carpet bomb POIs before engaging on the ground. You already know how much I like cosplaying my warplanes, so there's that. Please sponsor me, War Thunder. Secondly, these rockets don't explode on contact, meaning they can bounce off corners and walls if you're ever in a tense firefight. Third, because it's cool. Wait, did I already say that? No, I said it was fun. It's fun and cool. But I understand, it's pretty big. So if you prefer to have something smaller and more true to life in your hands, then you probably want that gun. Which gun? This one! A little backstory first. In the original Fallout RPG from Black Isle Studios, there's a quest you can take in the hub where you help a character named Erwin. Erwin's been having some problems with raiders on his farm, and this is where you come in. You offer to help, he takes you up on that offer and takes you to the farm. Once you finish evicting the squatters, you return to Erwin where he gives you the 223 pistol, a weapon so powerful that if you shoot your opponent in the dick, the rest of their body explodes in violent gore. It would go on to appear again in Fallout 2 and New Vegas, each time as an equally rare and powerful weapon, with New Vegas introducing a unique variant called That Gun. If you think it looks familiar, that's because it's a direct remodeling of the pistol used by Deckard in the movie Blade Runner, right down to the LEDs and the double triggers. Cool, right? Well, That Gun of the Wasteland is a mod that adds the titular weapon to Fallout 4 and makes good use of its heritage. Attachments in the workbench include callbacks and names from Blade Runner, although there's no shortage of vanilla-friendly attachments present as well. It also includes an array of skins, which I thought was pretty cool. I personally wish weapon skin mods were more of a thing, but since they aren't, I'll take them where I can get them. Now, I took one and I built it out to Blade Runner spec, put on a trench coat, and went to visit Covenant. Here's another thing you may not know. The interview you have to give to enter Covenant is another Blade Runner reference, even if the test itself is actually just the GOAT exam from Fallout 3. Anyways, I thought if anyone would appreciate it, it would be the test giver in Covenant, so I showed it to him. Yeah, I don't think he liked it very much. Oh, actually, this is a good time to talk about this drip. I got the trench coat from our next mod, the Vintage Revolver from DegenerateDak. The Vintage Revolver is a recreation of a Smith & Wesson Schofield revolver. It's been a year in the making, from meshes and textures to the beautiful animations that come with it. The revolver was meant to accompany Dak's Vintage Repeater, which was released a while ago, but even on its own, it's a great addition to the game. Coming with all the standard Dak fare of customizations and level listing, my personal favorite way to use this was actually the unique variant. I mean, look at it. It's a nice gun, I'll give him that. And although the engravings give you no tactical advantage whatsoever, you do get to pull off some fancy shooting with it. Just in case you couldn't tell, I loved shooting with this thing. It can also get stupid powerful in the workbench, and if you've seen my previous best of month videos, you'll know that I always love a new spinny gun. It's gonna be really, really hard to top the Revolver. Wait, what the f is that thing?
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Utility Shotgun is the next mod, and it adds an over-under double barrel shotgun to the game. As if it wasn't enough to just have a good reason to use my immense stock of shotgun shells, this shotgun is effectively like 5 different weapons in a trench coat. With extreme customizability, you can outfit this shotgun to fit any scenario, anywhere, and at any time. Beyond just its utility though, it's got some beautiful animations and sounds that just feel so right. While the utility shotgun really lives up to its name in being able to do anything, there's sadly one thing that it can't do. It can't block incoming melee attacks, since you'd need to use a melee weapon to do that. Now, you might be thinking, but Snail, why would I use melee weapons when shooting feels so much better? After all, this isn't Dark Souls, it's not like I can roll or parry as the ugliest character I've ever seen. Well, that's where you're wrong, kiddo. Souls Like Parry is a script extender mod that adds a parrying function to the game's melee combat. Now, to pull this parry off is not difficult at all. When you receive a melee strike from an enemy, the message box in the top left will tell you if you successfully blocked or didn't block a hit. If you time your block right, the blocked message will display and one of two things will happen. If your target is wielding a weapon while they bash you, this block will disarm them, where they'll default to a round of good old fisticuffs. If you parry the next block, you can counterattack to send them flying backwards a few feet. Now this may seem underwhelming to some of you, but I can't overstate just how good it felt to play melee and actually enjoy it. See, for a long time, I felt like Fallout 4's melee combat was sort of underbaked, and so I've always just defaulted to using guns as a result. This mod didn't just make melee more fun, it literally changed how I play Fallout 4. I have never fist fought a synth before, but on God, I have never had so much fun going 12 rounds with a piece of metal. The synth had me on the back foot with his gun, but I approached. I forced him to drop it, and he said, "Nah, you know what? You can catch these hands instead." I obliged him, of course. I mean, I was gonna show him who the boss of this gym was. We traded blows back and forth for a bit, a left hook here, a right hook there, until finally, man triumphed over machine, and his clock stopped ticking. I later tested this mod against some of the larger enemies in the game. I approached the Swan with some seriously silly intent. Turns out, you can parry his attacks and counterattack him for hilarious effect when using the gravity hammer. The same is also true of Deathclaws and Yao Guais, making for some of the funniest combat I've ever had the pleasure of playing. No combat for you, Mr. Claw. Unfortunately, this did not extend to the Mirelurk Queen. Although I could parry her attacks, I could not knock her into the air. But thankfully, regular Mirelurks were getting ragdolled left and right with absolutely no problem. So those are the entries for the best of August, all pretty good entries indeed. Although, before we get to the winner, I'm going to do the same thing I did last video, and we're going to go over some runner-ups and some mods I didn't get a chance to cover. Starting with, Hotel of Destruction was a silly little dungeon mod that adds a squatter's den full of chem addicts within the town of Concord. The best part of this was the squatters are not necessarily hostile, you have to instigate the hostilities yourself, which of course I ended up doing after I realized that they had an in-house chem dealer. Institute Power Armor Coating is an aesthetic mod that gives all 4 main power armor suits a new coat of paint inspired by the Institute. The colors, while simple, are great, and the paint job itself adds some benefits as well, including a buff to intelligence and additional energy resistance. Alright, and with those out of the way, we need to pick a winner. The best mod for the month of August is Souls Like Parry. This mod was a small, unassuming pile of script that I really didn't expect much from, but it ended up changing how I played Fallout 4 for the entire time I had it installed. Hopefully we see a little more love thrown towards the melee combat system in the future, because I think fleshing it out will help the play options feel a lot more balanced. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want more of these best of the month mod videos. Comment below with whatever mod was your favorite, and of course all the mods shown here can be found in the description for downloading, along with the links to my Discord server, Patreon, and song on Spotify. Thanks again for watching. I'm Snail, take care, brush your hair, and peace, dudes. I'm out of here. Make sure the homies don't get too close or they're liable to some friendly fire. Fuck. Okay, let's try that again. Make sure the homies don't get too close. No, I'm laughing too hard. Hold on.